Hello, welcome back to the Tarot Closet. What's going on with my throat chakra? Welcome if you're new to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're having a good day, wherever this finds you. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. Whoa, Venus signs. Welcome to another Aries Tarot Love Reading. Love messages. Let's get into their feelings for you, thoughts, intentions, what you might need to know or don't see coming, what's on everybody's mind, next moves. I don't know either. Let's take a deep dive and see who and what is coming through here today, Aries. Thank you, Spirit Guides, Angels, and Ancestors. Please show us what we need to see for Aries. Please show us the cards. Aho. It's the King of Swords in reverse. Okay. The Ace of Cups in the upright in the partnership placement. What is going on with my throat chakra? Well, I can kind of already see here. King of Cups in the upright. Three of Cups in reverse, where their energy is really quite strong, Aries. First of all, it does feel like the last time that you spoke, there was some kind of an emotional energy that went on here. I do feel like it's someone you're either not talking to, or there is a pause in communication. There are communication difficulties. But I also want to validate. Yeah. This energy, wow, around what's being hidden here that's about to be revealed. We're looking at the High Priestess in the upright energy, Major Arcana, bigger picture, and right on the other end, there are two more Major Arcanas. We have the Wheel of Fortune in the upright and the Hermit in reverse. So there's something here. For a lot of you, it's clear that it's about feelings. Well, I feel like that's what it is. Whether it's just about you or feelings about what's going on in this relationship, something around the commitment energy, we need to dig in a little bit further here. But our High Priestess is connecting to the Ace of Cups, the emotional energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, in the partnership placement. And look what else is here. It's the Nine of Cups in the upright, a wish fulfillment energy. Now it's connected to the feelings both in the Ace of Cups, but also our King of Cups, our Master of Emotions, who can definitely hold them back. And I can see with our King of Swords in reverse, Gemini and Mercury energy, that is definitely something that has been going on here. And something is about to be revealed, quite literally. What is the timeline on this energy? Because number one, Six of Swords is in reverse. And that is a stagnant energy around having this conversation, really is what this feels like. It feels like there's another conversation coming. In fact, our Six of Swords, Mercury and Aquarius energy, by the way, in reverse is connecting to the Major Arcana, the Wheel of Fortune, which is connected to the throat chakra. And very interestingly enough, yeah, this is a real-time energy that's coming up. So I do feel like for a lot of you, there has been, my throat chakra is just like right away since your reading began going kind of nuts. So just bear with me here, that there has been some things said, okay? But this is also a really strong energy for me, Mercury and Cancer, around an intense and an emotional conversation that is coming up here that is probably going to change where things have been. The Wheel of Fortune, a literal turning point, and where we go when we come out of the Hermit, which is here in reverse. A very strong energy around things being kind of stuck, like where we go for for clarity and for truth and coming out of there. And this is where we go into the Wheel of Fortune. So it's validating that there's been some kind of a delay or a long wait here for this conversation. And it's feeling like it's finally about to go down. But this is what I want to tell you as well. Mercury and Cancer energy, where their energy is really super strong. You are here when you're meant to be here. So if you're here in real time, hello? If you're here many days, weeks, yeah, oh my gosh. That's what this is. Months or years later, hello. Remember, you're here when you're meant to be here. So trust the timing. With that said, I'm channeling for you under Mercury retrograde in Cancer, which is very much this energy in the Three of Cups in reverse. Major Arcana on the other end, the Hermit in reverse, and here right in the middle, the Seven of Wands, kind of a self-defensive energy. So it's really validating that there is a conversation here that needs to happen. There is a revealing energy coming in with that, and I tell you what, this is really clear to me why my throat chakra is so wonky, because I'm looking at it and pretty much 5 or 6 energies here right off the bat around the Mercury energy. And super validating is the other, because there are 2 in this deck, King of Swords, now in the upright. Mercury and Gemini energy. So 3 of our kings here, are here that are under our Emperor, but we have 2 of them. Out of the 3 kings that are here, 2 of them, of course, are the King of Swords twice. So the conversation around this, somebody needing to open up, emotionally open up, an emotional availability and reveal something is extremely clear. And that's the thing around the King of Swords and the upright, strategizing around this communication. Coming in here with a very specific intention about what they want to talk about. And the fact that something has been going on here and there's some self-defensive energy is really not surprising to me at all. The Seven of Wands, Mars and Leo, is also right in between the King of Cups. And on the other end, the Wheel of Fortune, this energy of where we are coming into now, this new cycle. Jupiter is now in Leo, by the way. It just came out of Cancer. And we're not quite in Leo season. We are, what are we? How many days are we away? 8 or 9 days, something like that. In any case, Leo is here in this energy of the Wheel of Fortune, and Jupiter is there. And this is a Jupiter energy. That's what I wanted to say. The planet of expansion, growth, luck, which is really more about timing. And my throat chakra energy is kind of bonkers. So once again, please bear with me because it's just crazy. This is the literal time here. Also, this is the time in this energy of Mercury retrograde in Cancer and Jupiter in Leo, where things are being revealed and coming to light. People are making these moves. So what I wanted to say to you is whether there's been an ultimatum or whether they've seen or heard something, you've said something, there is this feeling like that we need to have this conversation now, despite the fact that it does feel intense. It definitely feels intense here. And it's interesting with the Six of Swords in reverse, the sword energy, clarity in the relationship, transactional energy, truths. It does connect me to the 6 major arcana, which is the Lover's card. So this conversation is definitely around the relationship. For some of you, it might be specific around, how do you feel about me? How do you feel about a next level here in the Ace of Cups? Should this be about marriage and or family energy? And what I do want to say is we are looking at the 9 of Cups here. 1 cup shy of the 10 of Cups. Where is the 10th cup? Well, it's here in the Ace of Cups around a new beginning here and putting us into potentially the Ten of Cups life together. Had you built it? Were you building it? Was it on the table? That's literally what this conversation is about. And the wish fulfillment energy is going to be, oh wow, very specific for you. So as I say that, it's also really clear that this conversation is leading to some kind of a decision. I'm wondering if it's a final decision. It does kind of have this Emperor energy. There is a revealing energy here. There's no doubt about it. Like, where are things going from here? Should they be together? But it's also really clear that there is a decision to be made, and one to dive into intuitive energy, trusting yourself. So super validating in the High Priestess, Cancer energy. And more validation even connecting to our Two of Swords here. Because this is a time to make a decision. And I do want to validate for those of you that it has like a Hierophant energy is what I'm picking up on as well. That you weren't aligning where things were going or are going, depending on whether you're not talking at all or there's just like difficulties around it. So that's the other thing. Does somebody need to make a compromise if somebody hasn't been ready or wanted to take a different path first? So now we're also looking at the Knight of Cups, a Scorpio energy. And this Knight energy, our Princess, Prince Charming kind of energy, which I want to tell you can definitely include marriage proposals. The Knight of Cups, not as fast as the Knight of Wands, for example, but not as slow as the Knight of Pentacles. So we could be looking at, well, what I feel like, actually, that this is a real-time energy within, I would say even within the week, within weeks. At the very least, this conversation taking place within that time frame, which I generally don't go into, but it's just feeling like it's happening, you know? And definitely a decision here about where things are going. This does feel like a very intense and emotional conversation, Aries. There are some more coming in. So I need to bring in, okay, what is yours? And that is at the bottom of the deck. The Two of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah. So this is really very validating for me, Capricorn and Saturn energy. One of these pentacles is clearly yours. What is the other one? Because somebody, word of the day clearly, somebody has been clearly struggling around commitment. You can see the person here holding up the Two of Pentacles. It's an imbalanced energy. That's infinity, number one. That's also an 8 around literally like mastery and completion. But the thing is, this is also around waiting for somebody to make a choice, kind of weighing things out. But I also feel like you're in your head doing that as well, you know, and the struggle around that. So this is really clear. I feel like this and here is the Knight of Wands as we're talking about it, that this conversation does feel like it feels kind of make or break or final decision kind of energy. It definitely feels emotional. I don't know so much about just being astrologically triggered, which is what I've been feeling a lot this week in this Mercury retrograde in Cancer, but it's definitely playing a part. And here is our Knight of Wands. Our horse literally jumping through a fire hoop, but at the same time it looks like it's kind of like this horse came off the carousel. Do you know what I mean? It looks like the connection to the carousel. So it could be for some of you this has been around platonic and or physical, and you want to know where things progressing. How do you feel about me? How do you feel about this long-term energy? It feels like that for a lot of you, I want to say. But it's also connecting to, if you think of a carousel and it's going around and around and it's not going anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So that as well. So whether even if it's not just around platonic and or physical, which by the way, that does come through really strong. If this has been in friends or friends with benefits kind of energy, it does come through. So I want to validate that for you. But I also want to validate, I do feel like the physical aspect, the chemistry is really strong, but it does have that feeling like if it's going around and around and it's not going anywhere. But now we're seeing literally the disconnect here from the carousel. Our horse is not connected, is moving through that. So, and it's here with the Knight of Cups. If this is somebody who's been playing games, is what I wanted to say. And that even comes through in our Knight of Cups today. If somebody's playing with a heart, like it's like a guitar or a harp, I guess you could say. Yeah. Wow. So make or break energy is pretty validating for me around this. The Death card in reverse, Scorpio energy. Interesting connection here. Major arcana, but also extremely validating around this feeling of 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door. Like, yeah, at any minute, you're not waiting anymore. Queen of Cups, and it just came down literally right here on the King of Cups, the counterpart. So both of you here for me in this energy. The feelings here are really clear, just coming in even with our counterpart. By the way, Cancer energy, Queen of Cups, King of Cups, Pisces energy. And the feelings that are here between the two of you, they're here. It feels like it does go, and here's our Knight of Swords here also. Yeah, boy, this is really validating on the Three of Cups in reverse. It feels like there are more feelings here. But obviously, somebody's been holding back, afraid, not ready. Is it just the feelings? Are we looking at feelings about the next level? The Magician is here. It's in reverse. The Six of Pentacles is in the upright. So this is really validating around the reciprocity in terms of the feelings. I want to validate that. However, communication is either wonky or it's not happening. And I feel like, yeah, this is about the bigger picture. Things have not reached the potential here. The Magician in reverse, Gemini and Virgo energy. It's definitely an energy where it's kind of all over the place. It's like somebody, well, all the elements are here, water, air, earth, and fire, and you can really see it. Also connected with the Hermit in reverse, the length of time that this has been taking, like somebody not mastering that energy to make it happen. Do you know what I'm saying? So it does feel like it did not reach a particular potential here. We can also see that there's a possibility of that. But there is an emotional, intense conversation that somebody hasn't been ready to have around it. King of Wands in reverse. King of Cups in the upright. King of Swords in reverse. But then also it's the King of Wands in reverse is connecting to the King of Swords in the upright. So it's this energy for me of somebody getting ready to have this conversation. And it does feel like the stagnation is ending, I want to say. The last two tarot coming in. Seven of Pentacles in reverse, Ace of Swords in the upright. super validating around the person that you are waiting on, but also validating 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door. Extremely validating around communication, around clarity. Ace of Swords, air energy coming in. Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. And I want to show you the Seven of Pentacles because somebody's sitting here at the top of the tree holding on to half of an apple. Where's the other half? They've put their rake up against the tree. They're not really working on it anymore. You know, this is an energy of waiting, but this is also for me exactly what it's been. It's 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door, waiting for clarity, but also it's really validating that that's what's coming in, communication. And by the way, waiting on the Six of Pentacles energy, which is here in the upright for somebody to be ready. So to be ready to move to the next level, which for some of you is really very clearly around marriage and or family energy. But again, we could also be looking at moving in or bringing families together, even introducing families. For some of you, there might even be some travel involved around that. In any case, that's what this is about, but it's also here like for somebody to be ready to talk about it. And out of all the cards that came in today, your overall energy never came in, and now it is right at the end of the tarot, Ace of Swords. Let's bring in a little bit of Oracle. New insight, validation, hope you might not see coming. The bottom of the deck. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. That's the High Priestess energy. That's the Two of Swords. Because there is an energy here of, yeah, a conversation that's really needed to happen for a long time. Is it final? Inner vision. This is connecting me directly with the third eye chakra, the self-awareness I see. It's connecting me to the Hermit, the High Priestess, and the Death card, which are all here. And obviously the Ace of Swords. Trusting yourself came right before it. So this conversation is definitely opening up a lot of things that are not resolved here, clearly. Pun intended again. And I feel like that there is, if not getting close to a final decision kind of energy. Courage is here and rest is here. So a lot of this for me, just coming in now, is it's really validating, kind of like being in the Four of Swords energy, where there's a pause, where things have been going on, where you might be taking a break. For some of you, it could be that you're not just not talking, that you're separated, whatever the case is. And it's connecting with this courage energy in terms of literally trusting yourself, being clear about the path that you want to take here around this person. Maybe even before a conversation, that's between you and your God, your goddess, the divine, spirit guides, angels, ancestors. You know, what does that mean for you? But it also connects with having this conversation now and having what feels like an emotional, possibly difficult, conversation. Listening to each other, but listening to yourself and the path. Because look what else just came here. Listen just came in. Wisdom. Because that's the other thing, by the way. With this 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door energy, there's definitely a weight here. And the Hermit energy in reverse also has this feeling of like not wanting to be hurt again. The last two coming in is very much the energy that's been here because, well, look, it's challenge and it's messenger. You can see somebody writing. You can see a stamp. This is around communication. There's even a stamp here, look, on our wisdom card with the owl, who is a Scorpio, by the way. See things that we can't see, you know, gathering all the wisdom, you could say, up in the night, seeing things. But it's on a postage stamp here too, so information. So challenging conversation, a challenging connection, clearly, but also communication that is needed to happen for a while. And again, I do feel there's an astrological trigger here, you know. This could be literal for some of you too. Look, Messenger, it kind of connects me with, you know, I think of like Facebook Messenger, you know. But just in general, the energy around that. And you can see the juggling here of the pins. That's the Two of Pentacles for me as well. And there's a third pin here, a third bowling pin. They're actually juggling 3, so that does bring in third-party energy. It doesn't mean that it's a person. Of course, it could be, but it could also be around. I want to bring in some channeled love messages. Money, a job. Again, somebody not being ready, afraid of taking it to another level, afraid of their feelings. Again, for some of you, should this be around platonic and or physical? But there's definitely an energy here of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And a conversation that does get you out of the cycle, the energy that you've been in now, like changing things. The tarot closet, channeled love messages, the bottom of the deck. Interesting. I want to contact you, but I'm a big chicken. So whether it's across the room, street, city, town, country, the world, that's also really validating with the energy that's coming in. So there's an immediate question. Do you still love me, Aries? Here, look at this. I'm building up the courage to contact you right here on the Courage card and the Wheel of Fortune in the upright, which does connect me to the throat chakra. Knight of Swords, by the way, in reverse. So we have 3 of our 4 knights. We are only missing the Knight of Pentacles. But this Knight of Swords energy connecting to the 3 of Cups in reverse, it is, I have to say, it is really validating around an intense emotional conversation. I write messages and sorry about that. The camera, I just looked up, the camera died. This happens to me here at the tarot closet because I'm not looking, but you didn't miss anything. I write messages in my head over and over. So yeah, that's also extremely validating. And yes, I'm looking at you, Ace of Swords, inner vision, 2 of Swords. I'm starting to understand our connection. So really validating, depending on where you've been, you know, if you're wanting to know like how deep it goes. This energy here is very, very connected with the energy I'm channeling for you under. I write messages I never send. It's connecting here on our Queen of Cups, our Cancer energy, which and the King of Cups. I really do like the energy of both of them. It's a very empathetic and open and healing energies. There's, yeah, I'm not feeling like doing this or anything, but it does feel really, yeah, it does feel emotionally intense. Okay. So here's the other thing. I'm trying to get over my ego. That's also the Death card here, which is in reverse. So I like that because that is the death of the ego. I just can't sleep because I keep thinking about you. I write messages I never send. I'm building up the courage. Do you still love me? So it's just really clear that there is a need for them to come in this way. And maybe, I don't know how long it's taken. It feels like it's been a while. Did somebody ghost? I'm sorry I ghosted you. I'm so sorry I hurt you. And the last channeled love message. Really validating. I'm trying to get over my fear. So it connects me to the feelings to the next level, but it also really strongly connects me to the upcoming communication. Beautiful Aries, thank you for joining me today at the Tarot Closet. I'm sending you love, and I'll see you next time.